Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it is the end of the month. It is March 25th as of recording this video, so you know what that means. It's time for another tier list, and today we have a lot of movement. Like, I'm not just talking about these three. I am moving a lot of people on this list. So the game's been out for 4-5-ish months now, and the metas have come and gone. We are 2 away from completing the entire rotation. We have an understanding of how this game will look for the next at least 2 months until they start, revisiting the old metas. We don't know what that looks like right now, but we do know what each event in each meta looks like. And so with that in mind, with some events taking a back seat, Tower is upcoming next week, so that will be interesting to see how that affects this tier list that I'm making again. But without further ado, let's get into it. Like I said, I have a lot of movement to do. This may shock a few people and may disappoint a few others, but we'll save that for the end. If you like my tier list, if you like my slime content, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Shameless plug inserted. Let's begin. First off, Demon Lord Rimeru is moving up into the kinda category. I found him to be rather useful during the Heroes Jubilee Blitz at the beginning of the month, where with his AoE crits, we're really able to bring out some damage potential and for overkill. And he has some very decent stats, and now that I have him at level 100, he works pretty well for just mainline DPS. His AoE is still, an AoE, but guaranteed crits on himself for 15 points. You can't really beat it. So he's moving up into the kinda category. I wouldn't move him up into yes, because that would mean that I would recommend people summon directly for him. I don't recommend people do that. His trait is okay. Gives you 5% protect or secret gauge for like 3 turns on the start of battle. Can be useful. But I wouldn't call him like the headliner on a banner versus the rest of the dark meta. So you're moving up into kinda. Light Shizu is moving down into maybe. I have not really had a use for Light Shizu since the light meta, or even during the light meta. Her single target heal was useful during EX Millam, which granted is the hardest stage currently in the game. And her crit, I think it's a crit resistance or crit power, one of the two. Crit something. What is okay, my game's freaking out. Hold on, give me a second. Target or single target attack. Attack down by 17%. I mean, it can be useful, but honestly, I haven't used her and I haven't really given her much thought either. So you're going down into maybe. You're not garbage, but I just don't use you at all. Now for the kicker. Now for the one that's going to have a lot of people questioning my own sanity because of how much I stand her. Space Millam. Moving into kinda right now. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. I know I just blew a whole bunch of people's minds because I have made videos and streams on the power of Space Millam. And yes, she is very powerful. She still, even after the nerf that she got before she even dropped, she still currently has the highest attack stat in the game if you are competing against all the other level 80s. And even at level 100, she still has the highest attack stat in the game. Very, very good. She is a mainline DPS unit. However, we are 5 months into the game, and the most you can get her to is 88. And I personally have not done that, because I'm waiting for the next Octagram unit to drop, which we know is Guy, coming next Tuesday. And if you take a look at her kit, her trait is the same as Rimeru's, where you get Secret Skill Gauge for the first 3 turns or something. 15 point guaranteed Pierce and Pierce Power is good. Other units give Pierce, though. They cost a little bit more, yeah, but it gives the entire team Pierce. We have Alice, who we will add shortly, and Dark Xion. So she can be useful in a pinch, but she's not as incredible. Her DPS is kind of suffering because I can't give her dupes, because I don't want to give her dupes, because I want the other Octogram units first. So I don't really... Out of the two that we have, Millam and Rommerus, honestly, if you don't have a team for Millam to make her look really good, Rommerus is probably a better pickup for most people, because her heal is unconditional. You heal everyone for 60%. And you buff the wind team, which the wind rerun banner is currently going. So if you summon on that and you need a wind support, Rommerus will fit that duty. Until we get the space meta, which is confirmed to come in May, depending on what that team looks like and how it can make Space Millam run even better, I'm going to keep it down here in kinda, because I don't think people should buy her right now. It's just unfortunate. Her kit has aged. Her second skill is not worth it because it's like a 40% crit rate to enemies, or to your allies, and Fire Millam exists now. So, yeah. I guess. It can be useful in certain scenarios, but not what I'm looking for right now. So, you're going to move down into kinda, and then we'll move you around depending on when the space meta comes. Gazil, moving up to take her spot. Mainline DPS, self-buffs. Both buffs cost 15 points. His protection trait, I go on and on about, and he never leaves my support slots in the front, like ever. 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 Never. You go in the top. You do big daddy damage numbers. You have the strongest trait in the game, in my own opinion. I can't really find fault in you. So you move up into questions. Dark Millam, also taking a promotion. Into questions. Mainline DPS unit for magic. Gives the same protection trait as I've just been talking about for Gazil. Buffs her crit rate, only by 15%, but it's better than nothing. I recommend that people summon for Gazil and Earth Millam and Dark Millam because of that protection trait, because it is such a powerful trait. And being very good at attacking and doing damage just doesn't really hurt her in any way. So Dark Millam moves up into questions. Light Shuna moves down into kinda. Pretty good in the Orc Conquest, and I don't really use her anywhere else. Has a stun dodge, has the orb change. Orb changing is nice. We have a lot of units that do the orb changing now. The stun dodge is, again, only effective in Conquest. Decent magic damage for the Orc, but if I'm going to use light DPS, I'm going to use you as a support for Gazil. So you're moving down into kinda. Let's see. Diablo. I shall move you up to yes. The one that people have been waiting for. My level 100 Diablo showcase, my level 100 Diablo Crusade has finally ended. Yes, I understand his power output now. Yes, at level 80, he deserved to be in kinda. Because he hits like a wet noodle at 80. Level 100 is a different story. But, at the same time, this is with a caveat, is if you have dupes in him. If you don't have dupes in him, he stays down here. And that's just... I'm not going to argue you. He's very strong if he has his dupes for the stats. That's all I'm going to say about it. I think he's very good now. Now. At level 100. Let's see. Move Fire Benny is going down. Fire Benny is a very good AoE magic damage user. Buffs his own attack and the oranges, but I don't really recommend people go all out for him, because he's okay, but again, I don't really use him too much anymore. I used him a little bit in Jubilee Blitz, and I don't really use him anywhere else. Maybe for his trait, but again, that's only at level 84 or 92, and I don't feel the need to tell people you need to summon for Fire Benny Mario. He is a must-have on your team. That's what these categories are for. Yes is yes, please summon for him, and question is why are you not summoning for them? You don't belong in these two tiers anymore. Earth Millam, also going up. Top tier is getting a little heavy. Why? Because she has the same trait as these two. And she's the only mainline DPS for Earth right now. And she's an orb changer. These three are in my frontline support slots. And that is not questioned. That is not a questionable decision in any way, shape, or form. Until they put someone else that does it, these three will remain up here. DPS, DPS, pretty much DPS. You're going to stay up there. Trainee. Moving down into kinda. Healing is not too big of a thing in this game right now. I mean, there are stages where it will be required because you're just going to die. Like Space Millam, which is where she will have her most usefulness because of her Pierce power down and her heal being type advantage and everything. But I, again, don't recommend people summon for trainee, which is what these two categories are for. If you pull her, sweet. Healing is not the most meta thing right now. It's all about doing big daddy damage numbers and nuking people into the ground before they can do the same to you. Water Rimeru, same story. Moving down. Alt denying is cool and all. I don't really use it except for Ifrit. That's it. I don't use you in Jubilee at all. I don't use you for Crucible unless I have to use a water team. And even then, I don't really focus on your alt deny. We've just gotten the water meta, so you've lost a little bit of relevance now. Unfortunate, but yes. Same with Soe. He moves into kinda as well. He's a good DPS. He's a double orb changer. And he's got defense, which is good for conquest. He does orb change orange to greens, though, which Chloe does that automatically from her protection skill. So, I don't really feel bad about moving him down. And Guy is moving up into kinda. Under the condition that you have Fire Millam. If you have Fire Millam and Guy, guaranteed crits and, capitalizing on that secondary part of his skill, this combo does more damage than the Wind Millam and Space Rimeru combo. If you don't have Fire Millam, or you don't have a way to give yourself crits, he stays down in maybe. So that's the caveat with Guy. Kinda with Fire Millam, maybe with no one else. If you give yourself crit rate, you can put him in between, bridge the middle. Like, I used him with Gazil for this current Jubilee in my video, actually, I think. I don't think I actually got it in the video, but that is how I got a higher score on Normal Battle 3, is because Gazil happened to crit. But Gazil has a 15% chance to crit, and I would not bank on that. It took a few tries. So, you're gonna move into kinda for now. Now, any other changes before I start talking about the new characters? Ah, right. Maid Rimeru, S tier. Thank you, shout out to Bendaboss for challenging me on stream to find a useful team that I could put Maid Rimeru on and clear a difficult stage, of which he built me a team, and I went and challenged EX Ifrit when I beat it. Granted, Maid Rimeru died. Granted, I think everyone died but Soe. And this would not even be a topic of discussion right now if I didn't have level 100 Soe and Water Rimeru. So, with reservations, but I did lose the challenge. I am a man of my word, and I promised Benda, among other things, that I would move Maid Rimeru into S tier, which I didn't currently have on this tier list, so I've made an S tier for him. S for shite. Because Bendaboss, you did not specify what S tier meant. Nor did you specify where S tier went on the list in regards of importance. Trolling you a little bit. Congratulations. Maid Rimeru is an S tier now. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can talk about the 3 new units, which I probably should have done first, but oh well. Alright, so, Water Alice. Gives the entire team Pierce, lowers water resistance, double orb changer. Fairly decent, balanced unit. Physical attack, single target. All 3 of these are single target alts, which I was not expecting, but I'm very grateful for. You're moving into kind of. I don't recommend you go all out to summon for Alice and put her up here, which this category is getting quite lonely now, isn't it? However, Dark Xion also gives Pierce, and Pierce Power, which, if you're not running the water team, is much better overall, because Pierce Power is unconditional. Water resistance means that water units are going to do more damage if you run the water team, which, I mean, you would run her on the water team. I don't see why you wouldn't, but I'm not going to replace her with someone else to give Pierce. I would rather just use Dark Xion for the additional Pierce Power. So you move into Kinda. Double Orb Changing, very good. Pierce rate, good. I don't recommend people go all out for her, though. Raphael. Maybe. And it really makes me sad because I went double pity on Raphael's banner and I only got her to 88 because I'm dumb and I have shit luck. But Raphael, if you noticed, Raphael was not in my how to score higher in Jubilee video because Hakuro took that spot. Because Raphael does lower defense by more than what Hakuro does, but Hakuro also gives me that 30% chance to crit, which you do not. And I managed to crit and get a higher score than when I used Raphael. So is Raphael a good unit? Yeah. Not good enough to warrant summoning for, though. And I didn't use you in Jubilee. Like, I used you in the initial stream, but then I scored higher, and I kicked you out. Makes me sad. I'm sure I'll catch a lot of flack for this, too. You can still do good DPS, but that's what you were for. That's what you were for. And you are... Sorry, I had to scroll up. You're moving into yes. 1, waifu. 2, damage. I guess it'd be big mommy damage numbers. I guess it could still be big daddy damage numbers, but you're not a daddy, you're a mommy. Velzard. Buffs her attack. Buffs her pierce power. Buffs the team. No, she doesn't buff the team. Well, she debuffs the enemy with Frostbite. Now, we will see if Frostbite will continue to be relevant after this meta is over, because right now the entire water meta is about debuffing people and lowering your stats and therefore allowing you to hit big damage numbers. Frostbite just capitalize on top of that by multiplying the amount that you debuff by. If the following metas do not rely on debuffs, I'm going to move her down into Kinda. But for now, being in the water meta, she will be up in yes, because she is the primary damage dealer for Jubilee right now. And people have hit very, very high numbers with her. I personally have not hit stupid high numbers with her. I think I hit like 69k on a crit in Jubilee, but she's only level 80, so I'm sure a level 100 Velzard will do 100k that I've seen. Physically cannot do that for me. But she is the DPS. So that is the tier list for March 2022. We're getting a little heavy on the top listing. Yes. Yeah. This is fine. I'll probably piss a lot of people off with you. Sorry, Benda. Should have specified. Alright, moving on into the Protector tier list. We only have one unit, so this one takes a whole lot less time. I'm not making any changes to this list. I still think that you are my least favorite ones. You are pretty good. Well, you are pretty good. You're okay. I kind of want to move you down, but I won't. Because you do stack skill, or you do increase the skill point caps. But I think in another month, you're probably going to go down to C. But I'll leave you here for now. I don't feel like demoting or promoting either of you. I'm going to move Chloe up into A tier. She is a very good equivalent of Charybdis, almost. I mean, she gives the free 40% to your ult, she changes all your hand of oranges and greens, and she increases your skill cap by 40 points. I mean, 40 points is what Cabby does. Now, granted, she doesn't give you 150% to your greens, but she gives you greens, which allows you to have more skill points, which means you're never really truly running out unless you don't get greens, or you don't get oranges to change, which I get a lot. The free 40% ult means that you can free up that space you'd normally put Millam in and bring in a different unit to either buff your damage or to just be another nuker. I think she's very versatile, and I think she's worth it. I think she's a very good protector. She leads water, which we're in, and Velzard is a thing. And she also leads light, of which Gazil is a thing. And Gazil, as we know, also does big daddy damage numbers. So, you buff 2 very strong metas now. So you belong in the A tier. I don't think you belong in S tier, but you're a solid A tier protector right there. So that's it for my tier list for March of 2022. Let me know how you feel about this major shakeup that I've done on the list. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Benda, I'm sure I will hear about this in the comments and in the Discord, so I cannot wait. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.